Today's lecture examines adult learning strategies in professional and organizational contexts, with emphasis on leadership development, organizational learning and change, professional learning communities, and the broader dynamics of organizational learning. We consider adult learning not as a static body of knowledge, but as a socially situated, goal-directed process shaped by experience, identity, and institutional context. Adult learners bring prior expertise, workplace responsibilities, and immediate application needs. Visuals here should map these characteristics as a dynamic system: experience, reflection, relevance, and transfer. Andragogy remains foundational, but contemporary scholarship extends it by emphasizing self-direction, problem-centered learning, and critical reflection. In professional settings, adults learn most effectively when content is connected to authentic tasks, organizational goals, and evidence-based practice. Leadership development illustrates this principle clearly. Rather than treating leadership as a trait to be transmitted, adult learning frames it as a developmental process. Animations can show feedback loops among practice, coaching, reflection, and performance. Effective leadership learning integrates case analysis, mentoring, simulations, and structured reflection, allowing professionals to test assumptions and refine judgment. This is especially important in educational organizations, where leadership decisions influence teaching, culture, and student outcomes. Organizational learning and change require more than individual competence. They depend on shared meaning, distributed expertise, and the capacity to adapt. A useful visual model would distinguish single-loop learning, where practices are adjusted, from double-loop learning, where underlying assumptions are questioned. Change becomes sustainable when adults participate in inquiry, interpret data collectively, and co-construct solutions. In this sense, learning is not merely personal development. It is a mechanism of institutional renewal. PLCs operationalize these ideas. They create recurring spaces for collaboration. Within PLCs, adult learning is strengthened through dialogue, norm setting, and collective accountability. The most effective PLCs are not. They are disciplined communities of practice that use assessment data, reflect on instructional impact, and align actions with shared goals. Animation can illustrate this cycle: implementation, analysis, and revision. Organizational learning depends on culture. When trust is high and inquiry is normalized, adults are more willing to surface errors, examine evidence, and innovate. When culture is punitive or fragmented, learning narrows and change stalls. Adult learning in professional and organizational contexts is strategic, collaborative, and transformative. It develops leaders, strengthens communities, and enables organizations to adapt with purpose and integrity.